The American dream, the promise of freedom, opportunity, and a better life. But for some, that dream ended in bloodshed. In the coal fields of Pennsylvania, in the shadow of industry, a group of immigrant miners dared to ask for dignity and paid for it with their lives. The late 19th century was a time of booming industry, and coal was the lifeblood of America's expansion. It powered factories, railroads, and entire cities. But the men who mined it, they lived in squalor, worked in darkness, and barely made enough to survive. Most were recent immigrants, Polish, Slovak, Lithuanian, Italian, lured by the promise of work, but trapped in a brutal system designed to exploit them. The coal barons controlled everything: the mines, the stores, even the homes miners lived in, paid in company scrip, which could only be spent at company-owned stores. Wages were low, hours were long, and safety was an afterthought. When the miners demanded fair wages and humane treatment, the answer was always the same: if you don't like it, leave. But leaving meant starvation. In the summer of 1897, tensions reached a breaking point. Thousands of miners across Pennsylvania walked off the job, demanding better conditions. The coal companies fought back, firing workers, evicting families, and bringing in replacement laborers. But the strikers stood firm. On September 10th, a group of about 300 unarmed strikers set out for the Lattimer mine to support fellow workers who had been fired. They marched peacefully, but for the coal barons, even this was too much. Sheriff James Martin and his posse of 150 armed men blocked the road. The miners kept walking. Then, without warning, the deputies opened fire that tore through the crowd. Men fell to the ground. Some were shot in the back as they tried to flee. When the smoke cleared, at least 19 were dead. Most had been shot in the head, neck, and chest. Many more were wounded, left to die where they fell. The deputies were put on trial, but every single one was acquitted. The message was clear: immigrant lives were cheap, and the coal industry would not tolerate rebellion. However, the appalling treatment of miners ignited a fire in the labor movement, strengthening unions and fueling the fight for workers' rights. The men who died that day were buried in unmarked graves, but their sacrifice helped to lay the foundation for fair labor laws in America.